Hey everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined today by my dear friend and GVG co-founder, Derek Bittner, as well as two very special guests, Sabrina of Bound by Games and Brandon of Breakroom Arcade. Welcome everybody to our second show of 2021. How y'all doing?
I'm feeling good.
Good.
It's been a good day.
Feeling good.
So you may notice, for those in the audience, you may notice that our other co-founder, Steve, is not here today. He is celebrating his wife's birthday, which we, after hours of internal deliberation, we begrudgingly decided that was slightly more important. Just a bit. No,
only slightly.
Only slightly. No. At GVG, family comes first, and personal mental well-being always comes first. So we were happy to have Steve go off and celebrate his wife's birthday while we hold down the fort. So
yeah, so happy birthday to her. And Oscar in our chat here had a birthday as well, so we were wishing him happy birthday, or
yes,
them,
happy birthday
in the pre-show. So
happy birthday.
Just wishing that again. Flaming Highwayman, what am I drinking? I had it's a smoothie. I haven't had a smoothie in a while. And
Nice.
Has this wonderful it's cranberry truffle from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and it's like one of the last days, and I completely missed it because of, well, the pandemic. I haven't really gone to Tropical Smoothie. And apparently it was about to go out, and we just happened to see it. I'm like, oh god, that's so good, I want it. So we had that today.
Now, I promise it's because I'm not an alcoholic, but I have been binging season 3 of Cobra Kai. So as soon as I heard you were drinking, I was like, oh, Coors Banquet. He's got to be drinking a Coors Banquet. Of course you're not, but that's the first thing when I heard drink, I just heard Coors Banquet because, Cobra Kai.
I've still not watched Cobra Kai.
Dude, you were missing out.
You already had to watch it, but now you really have to watch it because it has your son's namesake in it.
That is true. I also heard season 3 is really good.
It's super good.
It is so good, man. I'm just about halfway through. Please, people in the chat, no spoilers.
No spoilers,
If you start posting spoilers, I'm gonna have to pull a Johnny Lawrence and say, "What?" Because I don't want to get spoiled on anything. But Derek, please watch this show.
I feel like it's a show Amy would really enjoy too, because she loves the original Karate Kid. At least she's seen the original Karate Kid, and I have not. I know of all the
it's
famous bits, but I've never actually seen it. So it feels like one of those things like watch the first movie, probably can easily disregard the sequels, I'm guessing.
Actually, no. So season 3 actually incorporates Karate Kid Part 2 in meaningful ways. So it is worth watching the first 2 movies.
And even subtle elements of 3 make their way in there. Yeah. They start in season 2, but you don't necessarily need to watch the third movie, but definitely the first 2.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And they're just classics anyway. You should just watch them anyway. They're great.
Oh, yeah. The original Karate Kid is one of my all-time favorites. That is a timeless classic in my household.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The only warning I would advise against or for Amy is that it gets pretty violent. And I know that Amy gets a little squeamish with violence. Mm-hmm. They're obviously, it's a karate show. And there are a lot of high school kids fighting and basically beating the living shit out of each other. So there is quite a bit of violence, but it never gets too over the top.
That's good. I mean, it's actually kind of impressive because it started on wasn't a YouTube original, and then that whole thing got canned from YouTube.
The first 2 seasons are,
went to Netflix because it was just that good. My God, because I remember seeing ads for it. It was crazy.
It is a great show. Sabrina, do you watch Cobra Kai at all?
I have not. No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I can say this: my wife and I are also in the midst of watching a show that has your namesake, Sabrina, which of course is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Season 4 just started.
I love that show.
Yes,
I've also not watched that, but my sister loves it. So
okay, so Sabrina, have you watched any of season 4 yet of Sabrina?
I watched the first episode, which took a lot longer than I thought it did.
Really? Okay.
I was like, wait, this is still the first episode?
They tend to drag on in a good way. They're they feel long, but in a way that you still don't want them to end.
I'm not excited to finish it because because they were supposed to be a part 5 and it was supposed to cross over with Riverdale, and I'm like,
I didn't realize that.
They're making it into a comic now, but Netflix pulled the plug on everything. I'm like, why? I just want
the Riverdale crossover canceled. I'm so bummed.
It sucks.
I unironically love Riverdale.
Nice. I thought the show was doing really well, so I was surprised that they pulled the plug on it.
Yeah, I have heard from somebody that this is the best season since season 1. So.
Oh wow! Okay,
that's awesome.
That's saying a lot. Season 3 went to some surprising places. I ultimately enjoyed it, but season 3 got dark toward the end.
Yeah. It's so funny to me that my sister got into it. I mean, because she's not a huge horror fan, but she loved the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart, and she watched this and she got into it. Like she dug it.
So different because my wife originally got me into it. She's like, "Do you want to watch this? It's like a reboot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch," and I'm like, that doesn't sound like anything I thought I'd ever enjoy. I guess we'll try it. And then after one episode, I'm hooked. I'm like, well, this is awesome.
There's a surprising amount of that, like in the actual Archie comics lineage. Like there's a version of Riverdale where they're like fighting against the zombie apocalypse, just crazy stuff like that.
There's a Archie comic where they cross over with the Punisher.
Oh, jeez.
Archie is weird.
Yeah, Archie does some fun. Yeah, some odd
there actually is a comic version of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina that came out before the show. I think that's where they pulled a lot of their stuff from.
Yeah.
Which is interesting in that.
we clearly have another Sabrina fan in the audience, and Eduardo Tena, who says praise Satan, and that's obviously something that's pretty big throughout.
Praise Satan.
Sabrina.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, hail Satan. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, between Cobra Kai and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and what the Queen's Gambit and a gazillion other shows. There's so much to watch.
And I've said this before, but it actually has happened now with One Piece Chapter 1000 coming out. I was like, damn it, I need to. It's time to start watching and and getting back into it, and also attempting to get Amy into it. But there's so many good shows to watch right now. It sucks, but. Sabrina, I know you're super into anime as well, and we talk anime on this show a lot. So, you watching anything right now, or?
Right now, I'm waiting for Promised Neverland season 2 because that comes out in 2 days.
Oh, nice! I have not watched the Promised Neverland, but I got a comic. It was part of Free Comic Day last year that had the opening chapter. Of it from the manga, and I'm like, this is gonna get dark, isn't it? Like, you can just
no. It's a cute show about orphans. You'll love it.
I think it's like what's that one? I heard I've not watched it myself, but apparently there's a magical girl show where it seems cutesy and fun, and apparently it goes to some really dark places.
Madoka Magica.
Yes,
Madoka Magica. That's it.
Yeah.
By the wonderful Studio
really
Chef.
Yeah. I'm actually rewatching it, part of an anime right now. So my wife and I are big Studio Trigger fans. We love Kill la Kill. And back in the day, we tried to watch Gurren Lagann and really liked it. But then a thing happens that I can't speak of because it's a huge spoiler. That thing happens. And it hurt so much personally, but especially my wife. She was just like, the thing that happened makes me so upset, I don't want to watch it anymore. And so we actually just kind of dropped it, not really meaning to, but we just kind of did. So now we're properly going back and watching the whole thing because everybody has told me, Ash, this anime is made for you. Just push through. We know it hurts. Yes, that thing really sucks.
Yeah,
Ash, have you seen Promare?
No,
I need to see that.
It's the most recent movie by Studio Trigger, and it's basically a love letter to Gurren Lagann and their previous works. Okay. It's absolutely phenomenal. Definitely watch it when you're done.
Promare.
Know that the two characters in that show are basically gay icons.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dayumi, who's done a lot of our artwork, she actually has on her Twitter. She's posted artwork of the two characters together, which is really good. It's really, of course, all of her work is done really well done. But I want to see it. I missed it in theaters, but
it is a treat for the eyes. Let me tell you, it is some of the best animation I've ever seen.
Wow, that's saying a lot. I mean, I know we've all seen quite a bit of gorgeous anime, so that's really saying a lot.
Yeah,
I will say, Ash, the final episode of Gurren Lagann is so freaking insane.
Nice.
With the stuff they do,
really,
like it's one of those things. If you look at the first episode and then look at the last episode, it's like, and you had no context for what came in between. It's like, how the frick did we get here? Like this makes no sense.
Nice. Well, that sounds like Kill la Kill as well. I mean, Kill la Kill's finale was just unbelievable. I love that show to death. So
I think this is beyond Kill la Kill, honestly.
Really? Wow, because Kill la Kill was like anime, the anime. Like I couldn't think of a more anime than Kill la Kill.
I'm still just waiting for My Hero season 5. Yeah, season 5. Sometime in the spring.
Nice. By the way, before we get into the news, I have an exciting announcement for you guys. Ooh. I went and grabbed this out of the other room. I haven't had a chance to open it yet, but look what arrived.
You jerk.
Yes.
Congrats.
I'm so excited.
Where's the game store? What, did you get any games, or are you just sticking with Astrobot?
Just Astrobot for now. My buddy is going to let me link to his PS5 so I can play his copy of Spider-Man Remastered and Miles Morales.
Nice.
So, but I'm already working on other games at the moment, so I'm in no huge rush. But I got the PS5. You got HDMI 2.1, faster loading times on PS4 games. So, just figured it was a good time to do it, and then I'll play Spider-Man when I get around to it. But I got the 4K TV, so now I figured let's just get the PS5 at ASAP, and it's all due to my wife. All due to my wife. She actually, while I was recording with Kat for Acts of the Blood God, she texted me, and she's like, "Oh my God, good news!" I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "I got you a PS5." So. All thanks to her. She was the one who was on PlayStation Direct waiting in the line. So I'm eternally grateful to her.
I was very fortunate to have get a lot of money from my family this year. So I put a little bit away into a PS5 fund. So I have the money for the PS5 now stashed away. Now I'm just waiting for an opportunity to get one. But I haven't actively been looking. It's just like, oh, hey, it's available. Let me get it type thing.
Okay.
I have to agree with the chat, Ash. You definitely should get Bug Snacks before it's gone.
So I keep hearing that, and like initially when I saw the trailer during the state of play, it didn't interest me at all. But apparently, it's got like this really shockingly deep, dark story.
The writing of the characters is actually astoundingly good.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
I've heard...
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, please.
It's free, and like today's the last day. It's free for PS Plus, so I would hook that up today.
Ooh, okay, I got to do that.
Yeah.
Normally at nights, get on with a couple of my best friends and play Fall Guys for a couple hours, and I was hoping to do that or do my PS5 after that. But if this is the last day I can get Bug Snacks for free, I'm gonna have to show up a little late.
Dang. I wasn't interested in it, so I actually looked at it, like somebody was offering up a spoiler, and I was like, oh, well, I have no interest in this game whatsoever. So I look at it, and it's like, oh, it's like, that's bold. So that's interesting.
It goes some places, but the
I've
characters
heard,
really shine.
Well, that reminds me of another game I tried over the weekend with the characters really shine, and Derek knows where I'm going with this, but I tried Hades over the weekend.
Oh,
and
perfect.
I absolutely understand why it has taken off the way it has. It's not making me a roguelike fan. I can kind of feel myself getting a little tired of the loop already because I'm just not a roguelike guy, but I really want to see it through, even on God mode, just because the characters and the world and the writing and especially the voice acting, you guys. Mm-hmm. The voice acting is amazing in this.
It's so good.
It's so good. And I love that Zagreus, I looked it up. It's not the same guy, but Zagreus reminds me so much of Alucard from the Castlevania anime. He sounds so similar, and I love it.
I want to say that the person who plays Zagreus is actually the audio engineer of the game.
I think it is.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's just really good at acting, and they were like, you should do it.
Yeah, go for it.
That whole cast is just fantastic. What a cool little game. It's really
Have you played it, Sabrina?
I have not. I've been looking at it, but I have not played it yet.
I think you should, because I know you and Elliot would probably really get into it.
Probably.
I have a feeling you get really into it. It is that addicting. I am definitely addicted. I've been streaming it every Sunday, and I am now up to 3 victories. I've got 2 in a row. The last stream.
Nice. Very nice.
I had a extremely clutch moment with my sword victory because I had 3 HP left when I finally beat Hades. So I just barely survived.
So you did beat it though. Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
No spoilers on what happens, but they give you a reason to having to keep escaping.
Oh, okay, cool.
To keep going on. And then, so basically, in order to fully see the story, you have to escape Hades 10 times. So I have 7 more to go.
That's one of
so
the best.
God mode's probably going to be it for me.
That's one of the best things about Hades, because the narrative is so tightly wrapped around the idea of a roguelike that it encourages you to keep playing, which no other roguelike has before for me.
They introduce new things when you beat it the first time, like a character you have never met before starts showing up.
Oh man, I'm never gonna finish this game 10 times. Maybe once. Maybe once.
You'll trust me. You get that one time, you'll see that. I'm like, well, I gotta know more now.
So annoying.
It's like you gotta see.
Which weapon did you end up beating the game with? Like, what ended up being your favorite?
First time I beat it, I'm trying to beat it with every weapon because as you do different things and beat with different weapons, you get bonuses that help you just in the long run. So I'm trying to earn that stuff. So I've beaten it with the spear, the sword, and the bow.
Okay.
So I'm working on the other three.
I think the spear and the shield the sword and the shield are my favorites so far.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And I had an amazing Zeus build with my sword where I was just basically just using my special and causing like this massive sphere of death. It's constantly causing lightning to strike on everything, doubled up, causing status effects, just felt ridiculously overpowered. But I was also very squishy, which is what made the fight against Hades a little tricky.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I'm excited to see more. And again, no repeat dialogue yet. I have not encountered a single bit of repeat dialogue in this entire game.
I know. I haven't either so far, which is really, really impressive. Plus, I also love how the narrator narrates Zagreus' interactions with Cerberus. And then narrates Cerberus' thoughts. It's so good.
You got to pet Cerberus.
Sometimes Zagreus will just like talk back to the narrator.
Yeah,
no, I love that. Yeah, I keep saying Zagreus. It's Zagreus. I keep
Zagreus. Yeah.
And
there's no way. More you play, there's no way Zagreus is not bisexual. He is totally bi.
I kind of assumed he was. Yeah, it seemed that seemed to be the case, and I just love his whole demeanor. He's like just disattached enough to be cool, but also not so disattached that he's an asshole. Like he's very affable.
Yeah,
and like I totally have a beer with him.
Oh, absolutely,
definitely.
Yeah. Well, with that said, I'm sure we could go on about Hades and anime and everything else for a while. But
we got 7 topics and we're already talked for 17 minutes. Holy crap!
I love it. It's a sign of a good show, though. So, moving on to the news. We have a pretty cool tweet from Twitter user @ActualArrow talking about basically this user lined up in a single image a bunch of anniversaries in gaming that are happening this year in 2021, and there are way more than I realized. Just kind of handpicking a few here. You've got Pokemon 25 years, Zelda 35 years, of course, Metroid 35 years, which we know is nothing's going to happen for that already. Sonic for 30 years, Donkey Kong 40 years, Kingdom Hearts 2 15 years, Street Fighter 2 30 years. And I'm only handpicking a few. There are a bunch here. But they did leave out the most important one, and that's obviously Mega Man Battle Network 20 years. They did leave that out. That's obviously the most important one here. Yeah.
Oh, God.
There's your mega mention. But yeah, so Resident Evil 25 years.
Dragon Quest 25 years. Persona 25 years. I didn't realize Persona was as old as Dragon Quest.
Wow.
God, I didn't either, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm as old as Persona and Dragon Quest.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't make any... Wait, 25 years? Really? Like, Dragon Quest has to be wrong. Dragon Quest should be 35 years.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. There's no way that's correct.
That's a typo. Okay. That has to be a typo.
Yeah, so Dragon Quest...
Persona is definitely 25 years.
Yeah, Nintendo 64, 25 years. How? Oh,
don't do that to me.
God, I feel so old. 3DS, 10 years. How has it been a decade since the 3DS came out? This hurts. This hurts my heart.
Are we going to say Sabrina?
I think we're getting... Did you say something, Sabrina?
The N64, that's 25 years for sure, because that was released on my birth year.
Nice. Well, I'm going to say it was released on my birth year as well. Happy fellow 25th birthday, Sabrina. I'm so 25 years old.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
wow,
I'm definitely
I didn't know I was older than you.
Right? Well, that's crazy. You guys are old. I'm still young comparatively. Yeah, sure. So, do we think we're going to get anything for... Obviously, we're going to get something for Zelda because Nintendo cares about Zelda.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, but Metroid, though, is the real question. Are we going to get anything for Metroid 3?
It is a long-rumored Metroid Prime trilogy.
Yeah.
I would also like a port of Samus Returns, or, barring that, hey, something new from that team.
I would
Switch,
love that.
2D-wise.
Yeah.
Mercury Steam hasn't like released anything since Samus Returns, so
And there were all those teases in Samus Returns.
Yep.
Right. I mean, Prime Trilogy does seem like a pretty safe bet, but at the same time, that's seemed like a safe bet for the past few years, and it still hasn't happened. So, or the
I
past
would
couple
hope
years.
in my heart that this is the safest of safe bets.
Right.
But you never know with Nintendo and anniversaries. Sometimes they just don't say anything at all. And Metroid, I know, is one that they have just previously ignored. But I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. Sonic's obviously going to get a blowout. They've celebrated every 10-year thing easily. Kid Icarus, sorry. Yeah. Donkey Kong, probably not. Golden Sun, definitely not. 20 years of Golden Sun.
Yeah, Golden Sun's not going to get anything. I would love Kid Icarus to get a re-release of Uprising for that anniversary. I know we're not going to get it, but God.
I desperately want that to be the one more thing at a potential E3 this year. Because I flippin' love that game.
It's so good.
Another one that's missing, besides Mega Man Battle Network, that Kale Layton identified as Ace Attorney's 20th anniversary. Which,
based on certain things we've seen,
based on the leaks, we might be, Killamox is right where my heart is. Please, Mania 2 for the Sonic anniversary. That is, that's all I want.
It would be silly for that not to be happening.
It would be, but this is Sega, so you can't really, But given that this, I mean, we've gotten so many other Mega Man Legacy collections, right? People already feel like Battle Network's next in line. This would be the year. This would be the year to do a Battle Network Legacy collection. I don't know if it'll happen, but
it'd be nice.
It'd be really cool if it did.
I'm sure it'd do well.
And if they anyone's going to re-release anything, it's Capcom.
That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And if they went the extra mile and did like wireless net battling, like they retooled the multiplayer in the games to actually work wirelessly, and like in a modern context over Nintendo Switch Online. That would be so hype because the tech in that game, like the world portrayed in those games, was way ahead of its time in the sense that we're living in much the same kind of world now that we saw back in 2001 in Mega Man Battle Network. So all that stuff that we weren't quite ready for tech-wise with that series, we're there now. We're past there. So it would be cool if Capcom did a Battle Network collection and put some real effort into it, which we saw with Zero and ZX that they are willing to do. So who knows?
We'll find out. Who
knows? But moving on to another underappreciated, an even more underappreciated Nintendo series than Metroid. F-Zero GX producer, let's see here, Toshihiro Nagoshi has said in an interview that he's open to working on the series again, but would want the new game to be challenging. And this comes to us from Nintendo Everything. Now, Toshihiro Nagoshi is also known as the general director of the Yakuza series studio. I forgot how to pronounce it. Let's see, Ryuga Gotoku Studio. Yeah, he's their director. So that's what he's primarily known for now, but he would love to go back and make a new F-Zero game. And to that, I say, hell yes, please. Please.
So going into more details on this, this specifically came from Red Bull France when he spoke with them. In his full words, he says, putting aside the odds of it happening, I must admit I have a lot of affection for F-Zero GX. If the opportunity were to present itself, I wouldn't mind. And in that case, I'd like to make it a challenging game. I believe that if Nintendo just wants a racing game that is fun and accessible, they already have Mario Kart for that purpose. Which I think most F-Zero fans would be like, yes.
That's exactly, yeah.
And again, I didn't realize this, the studio director for Yakuza. Yes, give us our Captain Falcon beat 'em up segments in between.
Yes.
Oh my God, please.
Be so down for that. Yeah, I mean, I think we would all like this to happen. Sabrina, are you an F-Zero fan at all?
I've not played the games, but I would love to see Captain Falcon just punch the other racers sometimes.
Nice. Just get out of his vehicle, out of his machine, and just punch him. Yeah.
Just like that, I think, was it the anime that they did that?
Yes. Yeah.
So good. Watch out of his car.
Charlie Bird in the chat said F-Zero starring Kazuma Kiryu.
Oh hell yeah! I think we could all get behind that.
Absolutely.
I think unfortunately the it's unlikely as this is to happen anyway because Nintendo doesn't seem to want to do much with F-Zero right now. I feel like he put the nail in his own coffee. That would be terrible. In his own coffin.
Don't do that.
When he said he would want the new game to be challenging because I have a feeling that if Miyamoto has anything to say about it, it wouldn't be challenging. and it wouldn't be. I think Miyamoto said in some interview years ago that one of the reasons they haven't revisited F-Zero is because Miyamoto really wants there to be some sort of gimmick. That there has to be something new to set the series apart or set the new game apart from previous series. Yeah, hook, like you said, Derek.
I think Sabrina nailed it, though. Fans, have your racers punch other racers.
Yeah.
There's your hook.
I think so too.
Do a double dash thing where you have like your racer and then your puncher.
Right? Oh yeah, there you go, racer and puncher. But yeah, like the ultimate irony being, of course, that F-Zero fans don't need a hook. They just want another really damn good F-Zero game. And who knows if we'll get it? Maybe Miyamoto has changed his thinking on that in the years since. I think it's been almost a decade since he said that.
I was talking about this with my friend earlier. The last F-Zero game we got was that crappy Nintendo Land mini game.
I know.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to, you could count Mute City and Big Blue and Mario Kart 8, but it's not the same.
It's not, no.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope Nintendo sees a future for the series. I don't know that they do, but there still isn't really anything out there quite like F-Zero. Even games like Wipeout, which hasn't really had a new series or new game since Omega Collection. It's not quite the same. I've actually
played a bit more. So I played a bit of Wipeout. I always have trouble with these futuristic racer games because as much as I'd love to see F-Zero fans get their their retribution is essentially. I suck at these futuristic racers. I couldn't really play Wipeout on much. I had it on the Saturn. I don't know if that was probably not the best version, but that's what I played it on. Okay. And then I got F-Zero GX on the GameCube after all kinds of word of mouth. Plus, hey, this is the one with Captain Falcon in it. I'll check that game out after playing Smash. And boy, I could not beat story mode or arcade mode or really
Most
anything.
People couldn't. It was so hard.
At that game.
Yeah.
I wonder if... Oh, go ahead, Sabrina.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's a very hard game.
Yes.
I think they could maybe get away with adding some of the accessibility features that they added to Mario Kart 8, like the auto steering and the auto acceleration, because you can use those online and play against other people. I still want, I would want the game to be challenging for hardcore F-Zero fans, but I think there's some ways that they could get some features in there for less experienced players.
Yeah.
I think
that's they need to strike that balance because definitely have that challenge in there, make it hard, but also give people a way to enjoy the game if they're not as good at it. Find a way to work up to it.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, as a few people in the chat are pointing out, like Steven Turquoise and Arcaz920, there actually is an F-Zero-esque game out there, Fast RMX for the Switch, which is the sequel to Fast Racing Neo, both of which I reviewed, and they are really good games. They're not F-Zero tier quite, but they are good games. So if you are in the mood for an F-Zero-esque game, Fast RMX is definitely worth your time to check out.
And very pretty.
And very pretty. It runs at it's 60 frames per second. It's one of the prettiest games on Switch for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to another Nintendo news story that's a little bit of a downer, but Nintendo has delisted all DSiWare games from the eShop released before the middle of May 2011, like Shantae Risky's Revenge. So hopefully there weren't any DSiWare games on your wish list that you were kind of waiting to see if they're going to go on sale because they might be gone now. But there are still other games available. Some of it, but that's not every game that's been delisted since mid-May 2011. There are a few exceptions like Art Academy first and second semesters, Game & Watch Donkey Kong Jr., Pinball Pulse, The Ancient Beacon, and Sudoku, the EA version. So, I don't know if I ever even owned any DSiWare games other than Shantae Risky's Revenge.
Yeah, same.
I think the only one I had was WarioWare Snapped, and that game was paper thin. So I'm not going to miss that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a DSi, and I guess it was available on the 3DS, but by that point I didn't really care.
Right. I think I had some art that might not have been a DSiWare game. Something Pictobits art. I can't remember. Something Pictobits. It was either that might have been a 3DSware game. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I had the rewards program where if you bought a 3DS before the price drop, you got all those games. So I didn't really buy games after that because I'm well, I don't need anything else.
Right. Oh, it's okay. It's art style Pictobits. That it was a kind of a cool little puzzle game for the DSi that I had, and I think I had that and Shantae 2, and that was it. So,
I mean,
yeah, DS, yeah.
It's it's awful it got delisted, especially because it's probably some of these games are only available on there, but it's hard to, I don't have a connection with it like I did with the WiiWare shop when that went offline.
Right.
That felt like it hit a little harder. And Shantae's Risky's Revenge is on so many things now. I think it's on mobile, it's on Switch, it's on name a system. So there's ways to play that. As Bunch of Jokers says, the bigger thing here is that they probably should have given people some notice. That said, it's also one of those things where who's really looked at the DSiWare shop in how long?
There are people out there who are like really upset about this. Master of Hamsters, that's a good point. They remember when Four Swords was free at one point. That's right.
Oh yeah.
There was a DSiWare exclusive version of Four Swords. It was really good. And yes, I definitely had that. And
I have that.
On that note, nice. On that note, can we get a new Four Swords, even just a port for Switch, please?
Four Swords Adventure.
Or Four Swords Adventures, yeah.
I was really bummed that Link's Awakening didn't have some kind of like tertiary multiplayer mode. Or like a Four Swords
that would have been so much better than like the Zelda dungeon maker kind of thing that we got. Because
they could have even combined it with the dungeon thing, and that would have been fine. Yeah, there's a lot of missed potential there. I love Four Swords because I love Zelda, and playing Zelda with other people turns out is really fun. So keep doing that.
Who knew?
Yeah, I mean, I got together with a few friends probably 3 or 4 times back in the day to play Four Swords Adventures with the proper hardware. We had the GBAs, we had the cables, and it was so fun. But it's just so inaccessible these days. There's really, it was inaccessible back then, and it's really inaccessible now. And I just want a wireless, convenient way to play that game again, or even just the original Four Swords, because it's such a great concept.
It's such an easy port to switch to, because everybody already has their own screen. Like, whether or not you're playing locally or over online, it would just work.
Yeah. Or they could just do what they kind of did in the game itself, because I did a playthrough years ago now with Johnny, and we played a 2-player, and we didn't have a way to capture what was happening on our Game Boy Advances when we went off screen, which would happen sometimes. But we figured out that if one player went and the other player didn't, a screen would pop up in the middle showing what that other player was doing, so we could kind of demonstrate what we were doing in the cave itself. And just have a pop-up come up when you're in caves or those kind of areas, and you can still really enjoy yourself locally and have a lot of fun. Like, you lose the gimmick, but at least you can play it. I have so many great memories of that playthrough with Johnny.
Now, Sabrina, your name in Discord is Zelda Link Lover 13. So I imagine you must have some thoughts on Four Swords and Zelda in general. Are you a Four Swords fan as well?
I've actually been I got into Zelda pretty late, when I was around 13. So I didn't get to play Four Swords like that, because one, with the GameCube and the Link cable and everything, I wasn't able to play it. And right now I'm trying to get the GameCube Zelda games, including Four Swords Adventures.
Okay, nice.
And it's terrifying because I'm looking at Twilight Princess right now, and that's terrifying in itself. So I'm afraid to even look at Four Swords.
You mean in terms of the price? In terms of actually acquiring them? Yeah.
I got very lucky in terms of Four Swords Adventures price, because I found it at a flea market, not being sold by a game store, but just somebody random with good condition box and all that stuff. And I picked it up, and I think I got it for like $15, $20. So I got very lucky with that purchase. I'm actually I'm curious, Sabrina. So I'm gonna look it up now, how much Four Swords Adventures is.
I'm blessed to still have my original copy, and I turned around to make sure it was still over there.
I have mine lying around somewhere. I have my GameCube boxed copy of Four Swords Adventures in some box somewhere.
I do have that DSiWare one, the anniversary Four Swords Adventure one, on the DS.
Ooh.
So,
oh boy.
So
that was a reaction.
Yeah. The one that comes up of the list, the first one that comes up with the listing for other people, which is usually the cheapest, sometimes, $150.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's not too surprising though.
yeah, that's how much Twilight Princess is starting to get up to as well. And
Right.
This is exactly why when I worked at a game store, I never had the GameCube version of Twilight Princess. I got the Wii one, but I saw it. I'm like, and it was only like, again, $30. I'm like, I have a feeling this is going to be pretty rare. I'm going to grab this.
Right.
It's why sorry. Go ahead, Sabrina.
I actually asked for the GameCube version for like Christmas because my Wii wasn't working. For some reason, it wouldn't read Wii games, but it could read GameCube games just fine. I don't know how it worked like that, but sadly, I got the Wii one, so like I can't play this at all.
Oh no.
Ugh.
But for some reason, I carried it in my purse with me because I don't know why. So like, I would bring it to school with me, and teachers would be like, "Why do you have a video game with you?" I'm like, "Cause I don't know, man. That's the only enjoyment I can get out of it."
Nice.
You thank God I have these collection.
Oh,
I had to sell my copy of Twilight Princess so that I could afford my editing computer. So, but
Oh man.
I miss
Now-
it dearly.
That sucks. Sabrina, do you want to own all the box copies as a collector, or if say Nintendo were to announce like a Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD dual pack for the anniversary this year, would that be okay with you? Like, or are you specifically want the physical games?
like I have Wind Waker. Like I have
Okay.
Wind Waker already, but I like just for like collection's sake, and like literally, I think it's just like being with my fiance for so long and him having this having the same thing where it's like he likes to collect everything, so now I'm getting into it.
Gotcha.
I blame him.
Yeah.
By the way, Jared Edinger in the chat a little while back said, "Pour one out for Dark Void Zero." And yes, I forgot about Dark Void Zero.
What's Dark Void Zero?
That was a DSiWare game where it was like the first time Capcom had actually experimented with going back intentionally to a retro style. They set out intentionally to make like a modern NES style game, and this was, I believe, before Mega Man 9. So that it was before that was like, before Mega Man 9 kind of made that cool. And yeah, so Dark it was like an 8-bit like an 8-bit side game based on their AAA title at the time, Dark Void.
Yeah. When they were doing that whole Western developed push, Dark Void, at the Jetpack game.
Right, exactly. So I think that was before Mega Man 9. Let me see.
Yeah. By the way, just for the Fire Emblem fans going nuts for my Path of Radiance in the chat, I mean, I streamed it, but I also have this.
Oh,
I used to have that too, and I had to sell
Which-
that too.
Good condition. I still have the instruction book. Heck, I still have if you like Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, check out these other great game stuff in here.
Okay, my bad.
I just kept everything.
It was between Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10. So it had been done, but it wasn't a popular thing yet to intentionally make retro games again in the modern age.
Right.
But yeah, that was one of the highlights that the DSi had for sure. But well, unless we have anything else to say about this, shall we move on to our next Nintendo news story?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Cool. Lots of Nintendo news today, and this is a wild one, pun intended. Basically, a new discovery has shown that the NPCs in Breath of the Wild are based on an advanced version of the Mii character model format, and this comes by way of both Nintendo Everything and the Twitter user and self-professed Mii expert Hey I'm Heroic @HeyI'mHeroic. And yeah, so this discovery has essentially allowed people to start importing their own Mii characters into Breath of the Wild. And of course, I'm making that sound a lot simpler than it is. You have to be, have technical and hacking know-how to do this. But people are able to insert their own Mii characters into Breath of the Wild. And yeah, they really, you can see the similarities. Hey, I'm Heroic even put the Barrett Mii costume from Smash Ultimate into Breath of the Wild, and it looks great. And now I guess some people are even taking commissions, including this person. Hey, I'm Heroic, are taking commissions to Breath of the Wildify your Mii, which is just
That's awesome.
I hate to say
That is
wild
really
again,
cool.
but it is wild. Yeah, what's your take on this? Well, especially you, Sabrina, as a Zelda fan. What's your take on this?
Well, I'm terrified that Matt from Wii Sports is in Breath of the Wild.
Right? Yeah.
But I'm like, I might just commission them to put my name in there.
That it does seem tempting, doesn't it?
I want to be in Breath of the Wild.
Take
Right?
some selfies with Link, like.
Well, I'm not sure if I do want to be in Breath of the Wild because it doesn't seem like there's very much to do in a post-Calamity Ganon world. Seems like they kind of just mill about every day, right? There's not a whole lot going on 100 years later.
Maybe there will be in Breath of the Wild too.
Maybe that's true. Maybe we get to see Hyrule floating and going up into space or where the hell it's going. But yeah, this is pretty neat. So I guess what it is that so it's not specifically Mii data. It's called Mii data, which, as Hey I'm Heroic says, which is like Mii data if it sucked and supported decimals and negative numbers, stuff like that, but it sucks. It's complicated to get into the details, but basically Miis are Miis 2.0, and that is what Breath of the Wild uses. So that is not a discovery I expected to begin 2021 with. I mean, when you see them side by side, you could see the similarity, but to me, I had never outwardly thought. Yeah.
I saw a tweet. I wish I could remember who did it, but someone tweeted that they thought the NPCs looked like Miis back in 2017.
Really?
They retweeted themselves saying they were right.
Like, I know who you're talking about. Hold on. I retweeted
Did you see it,
them
Sabrina?
too.
Okay. That's probably how I saw it.
It was Shad Gandel. They were the ones that were saying that.
That's amazing.
Hell, I mean,
foresight.
if I correctly I predicted that 3 years ago,
yeah.
I sure as hell would. Yeah, I would do that too.
So good.
But yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of curious to see what I would look like in Breath of the Wild.
It also brings a little bit of insight into like the game development side. Did they do that just to make it, easier to design characters, or I think I saw Evernight in the chat mention like, maybe they used Iwata's Mii to model his NPC in the game.
Probably.
Oh yeah, probably.
So a lot of potential there.
Oh, man. Bunch of Joka says Calamity Ganon is here. That's Azran, man, you got to keep up your game. That's a really good one there.
Fun fight going on in the chat.
Yeah.
So it makes a really good sense. They said the person doing commissions is not asking for money, or Nintendo will probably step in. Yeah, that's a really good point. Hopefully they're not.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, but I mean, just enough to have an NPC that you can. I don't know if you can manipulate it or anything, or get in your game. I don't know how that would do, but I think just a picture like they have here with these example Miis, I think would be just enough for most people.
Right. Oh, we got the pun train rolling. Eddie Beale says, "I hope Mifa can stop it." I can't. Revol me. This is getting out of hand, you guys.
Oh me, oh my.
Yeah. Oh man, it's getting out of hand. But yeah, super cool discovery about Breath of the Wild. But this is arguably even cooler because it concerns a new discovery about a 25-year-old game. And our next news story comes by way of Nintendo Life. And a new cheat code that allows you to play as Shin Akuma in the Super Nintendo version of Street Fighter Alpha 2 has been discovered after 25 years. And I love seeing stuff like this. And it's weird that it happened now because we just got that new cheat code discovered in Donkey Kong 64 too. That dev code that lets you enter
we
levels
got
with lower
that,
banana
and we
counts.
got the apparent code, the last secret that was hinted at with Nier Automata was found as well.
Right. That
So
happened
apparently
too.
2021 is just a great time to find these, or like around this time of year is a great time to find all these long lost cheats and codes and stuff.
Right. Now, this code has been verified by the popular fighting game website Event Hubs, and there's a bit of setup to it. So first, you have to finish the game's arcade mode and set a high score. I'm not sure how hard that is offhand, but I imagine it's probably not that difficult. Once that's done, you have to enter the initials KAJ in the high score table, and then once you're back at the title screen, you hold down L, X, Y, and start on a controller plugged into the second controller port, while the player 1 pad is used to select the versus mode. Then, after all that, player 1 or 2 can select Shin Akuma by holding the start button while selecting normal Akuma. So there's a lot to this, but
How do you figure
cool.
that? How do you do
How-
this
yeah.
to figure that out?
How did they figure this out?
I'd like to think this was a rogue developer that just slipped this in without telling anybody. Maybe
Yeah.
KAJ is their initials. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how they found this, but I just think it's the coolest thing finding things like that in such old games. Although, as JCNAL points out, it's still not Xing Long. It isn't. We still have to fight Xing Long to stand a chance, and he's still not here. Don't know where he is, but what a cool thing.
What's the difference between Akuma and Shin Akuma?
I think Shin Akuma is just even stronger. Like probably takes even more damage. I mean, Shin Akuma in general, I think, is just a stronger version of Akuma.
So it's basically the evil Ryu and
like the evil Akuma instead of since Akuma's kind of already
evil Akuma.
Akuma. Yeah. Azran says Shin Akuma doesn't skip leg day, but yeah, I think Shin Akuma is just
true evil,
a souped up version of Akuma that might even take more damage because Akuma already takes more damage than most other fighters, has less HP. But Richard Herrera says Shin Akuma is God mode Akuma. So yeah, this is just a cool little thing that I don't know how they found it, but I just love seeing stuff like this in old games. Mm-hmm. Sabrina, do you play Street Fighter at all, or did you back in the day?
I've played a bit of the one that was on 3DS because my sister had it.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter 4. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. And like I'm not as good in Street Fighter as any other fighting game. Like I prefer Dead or Alive.
Oh, okay.
But I've tried Street Fighter a few times, and it's just I don't know why I just have a harder time with that control scheme somehow. But it is fun though. I will say that.
I haven't played Dead or Alive in so long. I got 2 on PS2 when it launched. Ended up selling it for whatever reason. I kind of regret that now because I did have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed as a kid, or when I got the PS2, the counter system where you could just like in the middle of a combo grab them and take them down. I was like, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. And then they went Xbox exclusive, and I fell out of the series because I couldn't play the games and never went back.
Right. Yeah, I've always. Oh, go ahead, Sabrina.
I have 6 on the PS4. The PS4.
Have you spent the $300 for all the costumes?
No.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah,
they're constantly releasing costumes, Brandon, and it's ridiculous. I think it's like when you total it all up, it's probably $300-$400 to get
There's like
characters
9
and all these costumes.
Passes.
It's absurd. Yeah.
That's nutty.
I refuse. Like I'm not.
But you can get them in this very specific bikini, and then this very specific bikini, and apparently it's 3 $90 season passes according to Juan.
That is just no. I mean, costumes have to be very specific if I'm going to pay premium currency for them, like or real currency, I should say. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Street Fighter 5 is where costumes are at, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, Bunch of Joker says, I want to scoff at that, but then I think about how much I'd pay for Smash Ultimate costumes, and damn, you're right.
I mean, at least Smash costumes are only 75 cents a piece, though.
Yeah,
like that's
But no, they're talking specifically character costumes, not me costumes. Character costumes.
Oh yeah, that's true. To be fair, if they were to release character costume packs that were at least moderately priced, I'd buy them for Smash, definitely. But I don't think I'd buy even for Smash, as much as I love it and would use all those costumes. I don't see myself paying $90 for a season pass of costumes.
No,
even for Smash. Yeah,
I just can't. Like I'm not. Like, and like they even made it worse for Dead or Alive 6 because like to just get a new costume that's inside the game, you have to get like pieces just from like beating certain fights, and the pieces are randomized, and you need exact pieces for the exact costume. So it's a random chance, and then when you get all the pieces, you then have to use the in-game currency to then buy the costume. And I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Pain. My God.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thanks. Well, with that said, shall we move on to our next news story?
Yeah.
Cool. And this is for all the my fellow video game music fans out there. At Any Playlist has revealed on Twitter that at midnight on January 5th, we're getting a whole gaggle of Persona soundtracks that are going to be going up on Spotify. And there are quite a few here. So main game soundtracks are Persona 2 sound collections, Persona 3 and P3 Fez soundtracks, P4 and P4 Golden, and P5. But we're also getting P4 Dancing All Night, P4 Arena Ultimax, Nevermore Reincarnation Persona 4, P3 and P4 Vocal Sound Collection, PQ and PQ2 OST, Music Fez 2013, and Super Live 2015. And you'd have to, I'm not, it's hardcore Persona fan to know exactly what those last 2 or 3 soundtracks are. No, last 2. PQ,
last 2. I think they have like these live shows where they have other remixes. And
That's
stuff.
what I figured that was.
Because I think they had a video from one of those in Persona 5 Dancing, in I think even Persona 4 Dancing. But this is kind of a big deal because it's mostly the newer games, but they remembered Persona 2 exists, which has a lot of old school Persona fans excited. I've never played those games, but I know some still claim it 2 has the best story in the entire series. Mm-hmm. And it's impressive. Like, I don't use Spotify. Like, do you have to pay for Spotify? Like, what is I'm showing my age here. What is Spotify?
There's a free version that comes with ads, and then you can pay for premium, which is ad free.
Okay.
Right. And I think if you use the free version, you're limited to a certain number of track skips per hour. I think is how that works. I don't know.
So you just go on Spotify, get a free one, and then you basically say these songs are in my playlist from these soundtracks. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, I don't think you can freely skip between tracks at any time you want. I think there's like a certain limit, maybe per hour or something. I know there was when I checked out. Square Enix recently posted like a holiday playlist. I got an email about. They did like a holiday 2020 playlist from various soundtracks on Spotify, and I was browsing through, and then after like my 5th track, I had hit my skip limit for the hour.
I think premium might also be required to play on mobile, but that may have changed. I'm not sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think they changed that recently.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I played that holiday soundtrack on mobile when I was sampling it, so they must have changed that. Master of Hamsters says 6 skips per hour, so there you go.
Oops.
But yeah, I mean, this is always, I'm as a massive video game music fan, I'm just happy to see more video game music become more readily available in the States on various streaming platforms. And we're seeing it happen more and more. We've seen it happen with Final Fantasy, now Persona, of course. It's already happened with Mega Man and Ghosts and Goblins and various other Capcom series. I think there's some Konami stuff out there too. Like it's becoming more readily available. And that's what I think Kingdom Hearts even is out there too. And that's what I love to see.
So. I'm not sure. I gotta say though, this is a heck of a thing. I do see somebody replying to them like, "There's no Persona 5 Royal, there's no Persona 1, there's no Persona 3 Portable, no Persona 3 Dancing or 5 Dancing." So there is still some soundtracks missing, but for the most part, you're getting a lot of the big stuff. And there's like, Persona music really is good. So
fantastic.
Like, have you played much of Persona, Sabrina?
I've played a bit of Persona 5. I still have not beaten it because I think
it's long.
It's long. And when Persona 5 came out, I think I was still in college, so I was focusing on that. But I've been meaning to go back to Persona 5 because I want to play the one that's coming out on Switch.
Oh, Strikers.
Yeah, because it looks fun. Like I'm like, I want to play that, but I need to play Persona 5 first.
Yeah. I mean, well, hell, after playing, I don't have as much of a like pre-vested interest in it because I haven't finished Persona 5, but after just devouring Age of Calamity and loving that game, it's easily my favorite Musou game. I now have like a renewed interest in Strikers, just because it's apparently streamlined in the same way. Yeah, apparently it's streamlined in the same way AOC was. So I really want to check it out.
It's almost more so. Like, I don't like the bit I played of the Japanese version. It doesn't feel like a Musou. It feels like a Persona action RPG.
That's awesome. Nice.
So,
man. Bunch of Jokas says they have their Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition vinyl at least, not that they have a record player. Well, we're having the opposite problem, man. I have a record player, but I didn't know there was a Xenoblade 1 DE vinyl, so I got to go buy that.
Gift of the Magi, this thing.
Yeah, I got to go buy that.
I have it.
You'd have it? Yes. I have like a collection of probably 40 video game music vinyls, but that is not one of them, and it needs to be.
Because it was part of the UK collector's edition, and I pre-ordered that. Like, I had a friend pre-order for me so they can have it sent to him, and then he sends it to me. And thankfully, I also got the American collector's edition because my friends were like, "Hey, we know that you don't want to wait for the game to be shipped over to you, so we got you the American one." And I'm like, awesome. Well, now I have two collector's edition. Yeah.
You have really good friends. But I forgot it is
awesome.
UK exclusive. Now I remember it being part of the. And of course, that means I can't get it. Why would they do that? I mean, I guess I can if I want to shell out a lot of money for it.
I mean, to be fair, Xenoblade Chronicles did come out in the UK first.
That's true. That's completely fair. That is true. But as a video game music fan, it is not fair, and I protest.
I can show you after stream though if you want.
Oh, please! I'd love to see it. Yeah, no, I'm always trying to get more video game music vinyls. They just released a Klonoa 1 vinyl that I didn't get to in time. It sold out immediately. Oh. And same thing with Sonic Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. They have those. I didn't get those either in time. But I do have the Mega Man X1 through X8 like 9-disc collection, which is my most recent. My most recent procurement. That's cool. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our last story of the day, which involves our friends. Well, I mentioned Klonoa. It involves our friends at Bandai Namco. And Tekken producer Katsuhiro Harada has he's basically just come out and teased that he is working on the most expensive project in the history of Bandai Namco. Now, obviously, he's not disclosing what it is he's actually making, but it's apparently something really expensive, which to me, it all points to one obvious answer. Klonoa 3, clearly. That's obviously what's coming. AAA. No, who knows what it is? Tekken 8, maybe? Probably.
I
don't know.
Maybe, but I can't imagine.
Are fighting games even that expensive to make? I
don't think so.
Well, I think any AAA game development these days, 4K, Ultra HD assets.
He says he thinks it's incredible the higher ups approved of it.
Yeah.
And the approval has passed, but due to the coronavirus, they haven't been able to properly start it. So who knows how long it's going to be until we actually see this game.
He does say he's developing things other than fighting games, though, so it doesn't have to be a fighting game. Tekken 8 could be it, but he is making things that aren't fighting games, so this could be something else.
I imagine it's not like a licensed game or something. This is like a premier Bandai Namco property, or something new, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it wouldn't fit the bill because I don't think they'd spend that much money on it, but I really wish it was Ridge Racer 8 or a new Ridge Racer game. I don't think they'd spend that much money on it, but basically all the things I want most from Bandai Namco are things I know they wouldn't spend that much money to do. So whatever this is...
Pac-Man Gritty reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pac-Man Act Zero.
I'm looking at his credits where he's just done various things, and most of it is fighting game. Most of it's Tekken. He was also, I didn't realize he was director of Soul Calibur 4. He was a supervisor in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, supervisor in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, so it could be a Digimon game. Producer in Pokemon Tournament, and last other original stuff he did is Lost Reavers and Summer Lesson, where he was executive producer on both of those.
If it's Pokemon Tournament 2, I could see why it's expensive, because Pokemon ain't letting that go for nothing.
Good point. Yeah, Pokemon 2, I could see that. I don't know if Pokemon sold well enough to warrant a sequel, did it?
I don't think it did. Not even the DX edition.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be so many different things. Searchman DS is speaking my language. They're hoping for a Xenosaga remake. I don't think that's it, but I would be so hype if it was.
That'd be cool.
Like, just a Xenosaga 1 through 3 remaster. That would be amazing, especially because Xenosaga 3 is, in my humble opinion, one of the best RPGs ever. It's so good, especially on the PS2.
Eduardo Tena says a third ongoing Dragon Ball fighting game, while Fantasy Thinker game fan goes beyond that was new DBZ or One Piece game. I don't know. Did they usually go that expensive for anime games? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I couldn't see this. I couldn't see an anime game being
this
whatever
feels
this
like
is.
something original.
Yeah.
Maybe that, or maybe a crossover. Like, hey, maybe they're actually finally making Tekken X Street Fighter after it being in development hell for.
I don't think they put that much money into it.
No, I doubt it.
Pac-Man versus Goku. Let's go.
I know.
There we
right?
go.
Eddie Beals has it. PlayStation All Stars Ultimate. Oh my god! Imagine. Imagine that.
If they go into licensing, maybe it could do like a Tekken type fighting game with anime characters.
Like a jump crossover.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of already have that with Jump Force, but good.
Jump Force isn't a good game, so
Yeah, tech anime.
I'd be down for that. That'd be neat.
That would be pretty cool, actually. But yeah, I mean, I want to just assume that it's Tekken 8 because that seems like the kind of big budget thing they would put all their, they would throw everything into just because Tekken is reliable for them. But
yeah,
I don't think it's Ace Combat. Ace Combat 7 just came out recently. I don't think they'd be doing that so soon, and also pouring that much money into it. So it's probably not Katamari. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. This feels like something completely new because I can't think of any existing franchises that would work.
Yeah.
I would have said maybe Tails, but Tails already has games coming out.
Maybe this is what Klonoa Encore is. Maybe we were all wrong about that Klonoa Encore trademark, and we're getting a multi-million-dollar AAA reboot of Klonoa.
Now, was he surprised that they went through with it because it was expensive, or because it was a property nobody cares about, or they don't think
or maybe
anyone cares
both?
about?
He didn't really say.
Yeah, it doesn't really say. I think the way I read it was it was kind of an intersection of both. He thinks it's incredible that they approved of it, I guess, because of the amount of money relative to what they're making. That's kind of how I read it. But it is really curious. I wonder.
Don't they publish Dark Souls? Maybe Dark Souls 4. No, that wouldn't involve Harada. You'd definitely be getting From Software involved in that.
Yeah, Harada's the ticket here. Like, what is he attached to that that would point to an answer?
Right.
Tekken versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
that could be cool.
That could be pretty. I wonder if they would let Tekken characters get dismembered and maimed and such. I mean, Tekken is fairly dark, but it's like anime kind of dark. It's like not really that gory, like Mortal Kombat is. So
I feel
not that anime can't be really gory, but you know what I mean. It's like teen anime dark.
Going back to like the jump Tekken idea, I feel like it could be some kind of crossover that could account for a lot of the price or the budget, like licensing costs. There you go. This is a AAA version of Project Cross Zone.
Yeah, nice. Or Namco Cross Nintendo. Namco versus Nintendo.
I would pay a lot of money for that. So
sign me up.
Apparently, so Namco. This is right.
I mean, there are so many things it could be.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out what this is, though I don't think we're gonna find out anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, and I'm trying to check my hype here because straight up the truth of the matter is that Bandai Namco, they're not quite Konami. They're obviously still very active in the console gaming space. They haven't gone as far off the rails as Konami, but the Bandai Namco of today is it's simply categorically is not the Bandai Namco we grew up with and the Namco prior to that. It's just they're focusing less than ever on so many of their once tentpole franchises. It's really just Pac-Man, Tales of, Tekken, and anime.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. They're not really doing much else anymore. And we got that Katamari Encore, a re-roll on Switch, but that was just re-release of the first game. And Klonoa is probably going to be the same. So it's just Bandai Namco clearly isn't interested in doing a lot of what they used to do. So it is what it is, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the end of our news for today. Had a nice beefy 7 news stories to discuss there. But I want to thank both of you again, Sabrina and Brandon. Thank you both for joining us today and helping us hold down the fort here with in the absence of Steve.
Always happy to help.
Cool. Well, before we wrap up here, let's tell our audience where they can find both of you. Let's start with you, Sabrina. Where can our audience find your content out there on the internets?
So I stream with my fiance at on Twitch at bound underscore I'm having a brain fart.
No worries. Bound underscore by, right?
Yeah, by underscore
Okay.
games. and on Twitter I'm at Zelda Link Lover 1 and I do editing commissions and stuff. So
Nice.
Very cool.
Cool. Brandon, where can our audience find you? Well, they already know, but let's remind them anyway.
You can find me on at YouTube, the Break Room Arcade. Do Nintendo Stuff Podcast. I'm the host of that. We're currently on break for the holidays. We'll be back this weekend if you want to check that out if you're interested. You can also find me on Twitter at Marrowleaf_. I would have had at Marrowleaf, but someone has it, so sad
That
face.
happened to me when I changed my name.
What a jerk. That's
Gotta
not
have that
very, that's not
underscore.
very good vibesy of that person at all. How could they do that? Well, cool. Well, thank you both again so much. And as always, though, a very special thanks to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for making the show happen. Without you, we could not make the show the way we do. And of course, a massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And as always, those wonderful people include Rob Arman X, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, Adam O'Sullivan, Floating Mew, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kieran Phillips, Benny Yao, Rosa Bowling, aka Mama Bowling, and I'll do Steve's "Hi Mom," even though I don't sound like him at all. Geller, Shiny Turkey, Titus Malvolio, Jake Pelka, Michael Phone, Mitchell Herring, Game Explain, Charles Saz, Andrew Medeiros, Jonathan Bellmare, Kitty Kong Facts, Patrick Harrison, Scott Barber, Evernight Studio, Rocks the Cat, Loyal Dingo, Azran127, Phantom 23, Sean Garrett, Shadow the Cat, Guillaume Monet, and we have a new challenger approaching, Kai Ed. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support, Kai Ed. And if you have a particular way that you would like us to say your name or have a different name you'd like us to call you out by, please message us on Patreon, and we will be sure to do that from the next episode forward. Otherwise, we'll just keep going with Kai Ed. But remember, you can become a patron of Good Vibes Gaming over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch today's news tonight live for as little as $5 a month, and like our live audience has today, interact with us and our special guests throughout the show in the chat. But there are also various tiers. You can support us and gain entry into our Discord server for just $1 a month. Or you can just come and enjoy our videos and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate all of you, regardless of whether you're supporting us on Patreon or not. We're just happy you're here, and we appreciate your support of us. And with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. But until next time, everybody, good night and good vibes.
Bye.
See ya.
bye.